There we go. Okay. Thank you for coming to the January 9th, 2025 Saratoga Springs Planning Commission. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Commissioner Hill has agreed to do that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. And we're going to start with the oath of office for new planning commissioners Charlie Karn and Colton Miles, and the reappointment of planning commissioner Scott Hill.
We'll start with Scott.
Okay, so with that done, and a good welcome to our new commissioners, we have roll call, and we have everyone on Planning Commission in attendance tonight. So congratulations, everyone. And we will move on to the election for Planning Commission Chair and Vice Chair for the next 2-year term. And we will open nominations to, and we'll go ahead and start with the chair nomination, right? Or do we do them both together? Okay, so to open nominations from the floor, let's see. Okay, so we're going to open the nominations. It's now open. Any nominations can be made. If anyone would like to nominate themselves, they can. We can have more than one nomination, and these don't need to be seconded.
I would like to nominate Commissioner Spotsy Burns with her
longevity on the commission and her insights, I think we would be well served by having her lead us for the next 2 years. So Commissioner, I would nominate you.
Thank you. Do I need to accept that nomination or no?
Or more discussion?
Or is there, okay, more discussion on that? Other nominations? Okay, do we need to vote then? If only one candidate has been nominated, then they may be declared elected by acclamation. So let's open the vote then, I guess, and just make sure. And we'll vote done by roll call and by voice. So we'll start with Commissioner Carn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Magnum,
Yay.
Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner Miles,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilden.
Aye.
Okay, and that's it. Thanks, everyone. And we'll go ahead and open the nominations for the vice chair.
Well, I'd like to nominate Scott Hill.
I'm going to go ahead and nominate Wilden.
I'd like to nominate Wilden as well.
Okay, and then. So with the voice vote, everyone will just say who they're voting for?
All those in favor of
Or you can
Doug
just
Wilden?
write it down.
Aye, aye, aye. All those in favor of? Aye, aye.
Okay, so let's go ahead with all of those in favor of Commissioner Hill.
So
And
we have to choose one or the other, right?
yeah. And let's just go
And
down.
those that are nominated, do they vote? Okay.
Okay, we'll just go down that list again. Commissioner Carn,
Just choosing one, or?
You can do a silent vote where you just write it down. Ballots? Yeah.
Okay.
oh, perfect, let's do that. Yeah,
Let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Our first act.
junior high sports team.
Yeah, exactly. I like both of
I'm
them.
going to say
so
aye, but I thought it'd
Both
be
of them would do
ambiguous.
excellent.
Yes.
I like the two names.
It's honestly a win-win. I think it's a win-win either way.
Does everyone have a pen?
Yes.
I've always enjoyed.
and then do I just read them?
Wendy.
There we go. Just wanted to make Scott nervous.
Good call.
All right, Madam Chair, the vote is 4 votes for Commissioner Wilden to 3 votes for Commissioner Hill.
Okay, congratulations, Commissioner Wilden. It sounds like you're vice chair.
Thank you.
All right, do we need to move seats or do any of that? Okay, perfect.
Instruction on the,
I think,
we'll just figure it out.
yeah, I think I pretty much know.
We'll get you better next time.
On the public input.
Yeah. Oh, we've already got one.
Okay, so we'll move on to public input. Time has been set aside for the public to express ideas, concerns, and comments for subject matter not listed as a public hearing on the agenda. Please be respectful of your comments, please avoid repetitive comments, and please limit comments to 3 minutes. If you're here for a public hearing, please hold your comments until those. Is there anyone here for public input? Seeing none, I will close public input. And we'll move on to the public hearing. We'll start with the amendments to Title 19 Land Development Code of the City of Saratoga Springs, Chapter 19.20, Internal Accessory Dwelling Units. And oh, sorry.
I am loud, but okay, there we go. Hey, good evening. Yes, so this is the applicant Chuck Hill for the Sierra Estates Plat E IADU map amendment. And it's located just northeast of the intersection Mountain View and 400 North. It is 26 lots for Plat E. That's the only one in the subdivision that is being proposed to change from IADU ineligible to IADU eligible. And because one of the roads is has less than 10 lots, property owners, it needed more than just a 66% approval from the subdivision. It needed to be 500 feet from the property lines of the subdivision. So that in total was 90. I have it here. Yeah, so like 97. I had 97 total properties, and then the applicant got 74 of them to sign their petition. And so that totals out to a roughly 76%, 76.3% who signed that petition out of the 66% minimum requirement. And as for now, in the impact analysis, at that time, there was only one, which is the applicant that was preparing to have his property have an IADU at that time. And that is all that I have on that one.
Okay, thank you for that. And since this is a public hearing, we'll open up the time for public input.
Yeah, so we're just looking to convert some existing space in our home to allow us to rent part of that space out, effectively taking us from a 6-bedroom home to a 4-bedroom home. We've worked through the process with Sam and with Ken to meet all the city requirements. We have off-street parking available. We have no drastic changes to the architectural facade of the home. Like Sam said, though I had to jump through a few hoops, first time I went around, I had to get the 66% of the 26 homes in my plat currently surrounding, had no objections from anybody within that. There were a few homes that just wouldn't respond. And then after submitting that, it was found that we needed to get the additional signatures from anybody within 500 feet, and same results. A few homes that wouldn't respond, a few homes that were renters that we didn't communicate with, couldn't find the landlords, but the overall majority supportive of that. I have a neighbor here today who's not in my plat specifically, but in the subdivision that is in support of that. Yeah, basically looking to just convert some existing space. We've had our daughter live in that space for a short time, and just want to make that available to basically, I understand how tough it is out there in this market today. 30 years ago, I was a young apprentice electrician, making about 18 bucks an hour, and my rent was $350 a month. Today, a young apprentice electrician that works for me makes about twice that, but rent is about 4 times that. I don't think it's fair. It's our goal to do something to help the community. Doing the infill development, we don't really hear a whole lot about that, but infill development basically is converting existing spaces to create opportunities to diversify the community, and I think that doing such a thing provides that opportunity. So,
Thank you. And I'll just have you go ahead and state your name and address for
Sorry.
the record.
it's Chuck Hale.
Thank you.
Address is 668 West Ritter, Saratoga Springs, 84045.
Okay, thank you. And then we'll just check and make sure there was no other public comment that needed on this. Okay, and then we'll close that public comment. And then we'll open up for the commissioners, and it looks like we've got comment from Commissioner Mann.
Yes, I just want to thank you for going through the effort and going through the steps to do this the right way, and I think that's really commendable of you.
Thank you.
I agree with you on our housing situation. And in regards to where it shows on our, in our packet that the traffic volume at the intersection of Mountain View Corridor and 400 North currently exceeds the city's acceptable level of service. The fact that you had stated that your daughter had previously lived down there, and that this will only add an additional 1 or 2 residents to the address, I think negates that issue. So I just wanted to make that comment, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Mann. And next we've got Commissioner Hill.
Again, thank you for going through this process. As I read the presentation and Sam brought this up, it sounded to me that of the 97 people that were within the 500 feet signed the petition that they would do that. As I read, all conditions of this were in compliance. I think it was early November, this came to us as a planning commission, and as a planning commission, we came back, and I think this is how we want to do it. Individual needs out there, and making sure that the parking and all the things are in compliance. Because right now, by doing it the way we're doing it right now, we've got a lot that are not compliant. They're just doing it. And so I feel really, really comfortable. And thank you for going the right way to do that. And my understanding is within this subdivision, you're the only one that's applying for it at this point. So it's not going to have a major impact. So I feel really good about where we're headed.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Hill. And next we have Commissioner Mangum.
Thank you so much. Actually, Commissioner Mann hit my comment right on the nose, so I'm good.
Okay, thank you. So with that, we'll go ahead and open for, sorry. Are we taking vote? So we'll open this for a vote. Any other comments or vote? A motion, that's right. Open for any other comments or a motion?
I'd like to.
Sorry.
I'd like to make a positive recommendation. I move to the Planning Commission forward a recommendation for approval of the requested IADU map amendment for Sierra Estates Plat E, located in the northwest corner of the Sierra Estates subdivision with the findings below, with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
And
I'll second it.
perfect. And then we'll vote on that. All in favor? Oh, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
We need a second.
Oh,
Aye.
he seconded.
Oh, did you second it? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. We're good. Okay. We have a motion and a second. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Great. So that passes. And move on to our business item number 1. pausing. You're good. You're good. Okay, so we've got the preschool place class 3, the preschool place class 3 home occupation located at 3130 South Titus Lane. Kate Cleveland is the applicant, and planner Kendall Black and Sam Stout. And Sam, you're going to present on that. Thank you.
And because it is Kendall's, I haven't met the applicant, but the applicant is here. You're welcome to come up here. Okay. So this is for preschool place, home occupation preschool, and it is located, so 3103 South Titus Lane. It is proposing a maximum, so 10 children at a time with 20 per day. And class 3 is allowed 10 at one time and then up to 40 per day. And hours of operation 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, which meet our requirements. And the floor plan is 19%. 90% of the preschool will be dedicated out of the total square footage of the home, much under the 40% requirement. And with the traffic plan showing that they have 2 spots in their driveway that staggered pickup times, drop off and pickup times for school. That's all that I have.
Okay, and so we will go ahead and open that up to Planning Commission comment. If there's anyone who'd like to make a comment, it looks like we've got Commissioner Hill.
Thank you, Chair. Sam, thank you for the write-up. It was complete. And as I looked into the ramifications of everything, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, no more than 10 children at the preschool, 2 classes per day, though probably an AM, PM. Everything hit code, so there were no non-compliant. The only concern that I have is that we've seen a number of these applicants before us, and this one happens to be in I won't say the middle of the block, but it doesn't have a corner where there could be staging for pickup, and just with a 2-car driveway. Could you, Sam, or if Katie's here, could talk a little more about the picking up? Because people tend to come when they want to come, and I could see this being a little bit of a traffic staging problem, and I just wanted to get some insights into that. Outside of that, everything looks perfect. I just want to make sure that we don't have 5 cars out on the road waiting to pick kids up. So Sam or Katie, if either of you could address that, that would be the only concern that I would have.
So with not reviewing this one, so I emailed the applicant yesterday, haven't heard back, so she would be probably the better one to explain that. Just from what I have in the notes, that it'll be, so they'll have one, so the drop off and pick off will be one way along Titus Lane. And then the times will be staggered to reduce congestion. So I don't know exactly what the specifics are on that. That definitely would be a concern. I am not, I'm not quite sure with the applicant not being here, but I believe that could be a condition that they adhere to this to make sure that it doesn't cause a problem with too many cars on the road at one time.
Thank you, Sam. That answers as best as I think we can. I think you have a great suggestion, is to reiterate from the commission that they do have a plan in place, because that could get out of hand, I think, very quickly. And so I would recommend that we have that as we go back to the applicant.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Hill. And next we have Commissioner Wilden.
Oh, thank you. Excellent job here. One thing to point out, and I don't know the applicant here, but I live a few blocks away from this, is that you'll notice the house, I believe it's to the west, has a long side yard. And so there is, adequate room for cars to pull over. And even though it's my neighborhood, there's really not a serious traffic problem at this time in the neighborhood at those times. And so even though I live there, I don't have any concern with that. But I think it is wise to talk to them and make sure they are going to stagger for the safety, certainly.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilden. Thank you, Commissioner Wilden. And next we have Commissioner Mann.
Well, yes, I just want to say thank you, Commissioner Wilden, for that comment. That helps me with my comment as well. I love small businesses, and I love that people have this opportunity to do this in their home, and freedom of ownership. And I think that we should make it a condition that the timing is staggered just to create any potential congestion, but I'm all for it.
Excellent. Thank you, Commissioner Mann. If I'm going to make a comment, do I make that now or do I open it up for a motion first? Okay. So I would just go ahead and comment to Sam that if we can just, one thing I really like to tell applicants on these kinds of home businesses is that if we can just remind them that if you're running late, if your parents are running late, they're running late to pick up children, and there's other children on the street being picked up. And so that is the absolute best time to slow down and not drive too fast, because we already know that children are outside. So I would just encourage you to pass that information on to the applicant, and then we will go ahead and open this up for motions. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So what you do is just push that, and then, sorry, I didn't see you come up. So it looks like we've got a comment from Commissioner Karn.
Maybe just a question for city staff. So they have a plan to stagger, but if they don't, and it becomes a problem, and people complain, does the city have any recourse?
We do. Can you hit that button?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Are you, sorry.
Okay, great, thanks. So we would normally, if that's happening, we'll get a complaint. I mean, you know what I mean? When things like that happen, neighbors don't like it, and we'll get a complaint. So then we can enforce that. Just through code enforcement. If they're not meeting their conditions of approval, we can enforce that through code enforcement.
Excellent. And then it looks like we've got Commissioner Miles has,
This work. I just want to echo Commissioner Mann's comments. I think this is a good opportunity for local business and minimal impact, and good, I think, for our community. So thank you.
excellent. Thank you, Commissioner Miles. So we will go ahead and open this up for motion, and I think we're ready to take a motion.
I'd like to make a recommendation of approval for the Class 3 home occupation, the preschool place, located at 3103 South Titus Lane, based upon the findings and conditions that we have in this report. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion for approval. Do we have anyone who would like to second that?
I'll second that.
And Commissioner Mann has seconded that, so we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, and it looks like that passes as well. Excellent. The next item of business on our agenda is the approval of minutes from December 12th, 2024. And we'll go ahead and leave that open for a motion.
I so move that we accept the minutes from our December 12th Planning Commission meeting.
And do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilden and Hill. And we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? And that passes as well. So we will move on to the commissioner comments.
I'd like to welcome our 2.5 new people. Thank you so much. We're so glad to have you here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott, you're a full person, just.
Yeah. Just working with half, right?
I would also like to say a special welcome to our new commissioners. Thanks for stumbling through this first night of a lot of firsts for all of us. So thank you for joining us. And we'll move on to the director's report. Yes.
Okay, so the last council meeting was just 2 nights ago. It was January 7th, and we had a whole handful of planning items, so I'm going to go through those. We had the Gateway Overlay Design Standards, the code amendment for that. That went through. We had the subdivision review cycle changes related to timing and process, and that was approved. We had it was called the Turf Farm General Plan Amendment. That one had a split vote here, but it had a majority vote. But the council ended up tabling it. The applicant gave us new information just a little bit before the meeting, and they had a concept plan. And what we were proposing on the general plan, they had some concerns with, and they wanted us to leave some of that as regional commercial and have some of that be office. But then we just really needed more time to evaluate that further. What they were proposing most likely addressed the concerns that were brought up by those who voted against that. And so we'll see as that comes forward. It may or may not have to come back to you, or it may just go straight to council depending on how that conversation goes. So that one got tabled. The Spring Heights development, that's the one up by Harvest Hills that has some warehouses in the back and then some on Redwood Road. That site plan and preliminary plat got approved. We had 2 annexations, and one of them was a well site. So the city has a well site over on 145 North. Sorry, that could be the wrong street. Kind of Old Saratoga Road, but all the names have changed, so I apologize. And that has been in the county, so we're annexing the site where our well is that we own as a city. And that was approved, and then we made some changes to our standard plat template. You guys saw that at your last meeting in December, I believe. That's something we ask all the developers to follow a specific template when they're recording a subdivision. So that got adopted by the council. And then the second annexation was related to the Alpine School District High School site that's west of the temple, west of Mountain View and west of the temple. Probably a lot of you have heard of that the school district is working on a new high school that would serve both Saratoga and Eagle Mountain. That's really close to the border of both cities, but it would be in Saratoga. A part of that is the property itself is owned by the LDS Church, and then the Alpine School District will be purchasing that, but some of that needed to be annexed to complete the boundary for the site. That got approved. And then, with the condition, we have to finalize the development agreement, but otherwise, or the annexation agreement, otherwise it will be approved at the following council. And then Saratoga Hills LDS Church, you guys saw that months ago, like June or July, and it was in the applicant's hands just as in terms of finalizing their development agreement, and then that was done in December, and we were able to schedule that. So the Saratoga Hills 7 LDS Church on the corner of Redwood Road and Grandview Boulevard. So that one was approved. And at your next meeting, we are anticipating is January 23rd. So far, we're anticipating 2 items that could change before we finalize the agenda, but so far we're anticipating 2 items for that meeting. And other than that, we did want to ask all of you to please, when you get the calendar invite for the PC meeting, to hit either accept or decline. We feel like that's the easiest way to know if we're going to have a quorum or not. So we just want to ask each of you, when you get that calendar invite, to accept or decline. And then that way it will cut down on, hey, are you coming? Or, and it'll be the easiest way for our staff to know without having to bug each of you further. So we want to ask all of you to try to remember to either accept or decline that invite. And then, of course, you can always let us know in other ways, but that's the easiest way for us to be, totally clear that we have a quorum.
Excellent, thank you. And do we need to get a report from anyone else? Yeah, okay, perfect, thank you. And any need to enter a closed session tonight? That said, this meeting is adjourned.